Hello. How are you, Sagittarius? Oh, you just had a full moon literally yesterday. It rained a lot around the full moon here in New York City. As you know, I'm Patrick from Providence Tarot. If you And also, if you are a returning provider, welcome back. If I haven't done your sign in a while, it's just because there's been a lot going on. So there's been a bit of a reduction in terms of how the content videos are being produced, right? So I do proofreads, right? They used to be called Astro Weeklies. Now they're being called proofreads because it's more fitting. And monthly videos are going to be the sign that represents and rules that month and the fellow signs of that quality. Then, if I get the other signs in, they get in. Otherwise, you'll get your proofreads one after the other um, in increments of 2, 3, or 4 times a month, right? Probably 4 times a month. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Archangel Power Tarot by Doreen Virtue for your main tarot reading today. Okay. And I am also going to be using the Runes Oracle deck here. Okay. And then I'm going to be also using the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue, the Archangel Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue. Ooh, interesting. Totally different. And the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards by Kyle Gray. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the tarot cards. I'm going to shuffle these, okay? It's pretty late here. It might be like 12:30, a little bit past midnight, I think. Um, Tomorrow is the 7th. There are two cards that, oh, cool. There are two cards that just flipped up for you. I'm going to talk about I get shuffle here. One more time. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's look at these two cards that fell out on their own. All right, so you got the Queen of Ariel and you have the Ten of Michael. So some of you could be having a job that's coming to an end or coming to a close, or you could be choosing to move on to something that you may have been putting a lot of time and energy and effort into. Maybe you were applying yourself in a very meaningful way. There was a lot of, hours spent, countless hours spent probably. You just got tired and you're fed up with it. And being that the full moon happened in your sign, maybe there is a situation that has ended for you and you feel like there's a sense of liberation that comes from that ending, right? Because this is Sun and Gemini energy, Michael being here. The sun is bringing some awareness to a lot of different truths that add up to one major truth for you, overall bigger picture. Okay, this could be about someone as well. It could be about a boss, or it could be just someone in your life that's meaningful to you, male or female. Could be a earth sign energy, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. This person is mature, right? It might be a mentor to you, or they could be somebody that is a higher up or someone that was influencing you or encouraging you in some kind of way. Maybe they were giving you something or offering something to you, maybe their time, maybe an extra slot or something like that. And now you're just kind of like, oh, I don't want to really do it anymore. Nurture yourself and those you love. The ability to make anything more beautiful. Practical and wise advice, right? So the practical and wise advice that I would give you here is that you can turn this situation around. You can turn it over and you can turn this into something that's positive for you. You know what I mean? So now that I've cut the deck, I'm going to go ahead and lay the cards out. This is sad, so I don't think it's going to be that super duper long, you know. And a 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's the immediate influence. So at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Pentacles. So it does talk about, you know, maybe fears that you might have over money, or maybe fears that you might have over securing, you know, a place to live, something like that. Or this could be your ability to make money, you know, or your ability to keep money, that type of thing. Um, it is bringing some attention to an investment that you may have gotten involved with, or an investment that you know, just desire to make on your own, right? This is self-reliance, so you could be choosing to make something happen or to build something on your own, right? Or to produce it on your own, or cultivate or make it grow on its own. So you are going to nurture this thing with your own money. You could be choosing to fund something on your own, you know what I mean, as a contribution or something like that. This could be a philanthropic thing, or it just could be like you can make it possible, so you are choosing to do so, right? In a way, shape, or form. When you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change, extremes in how you save or spend money, right? Because the Four of Ariel is Sun in Capricorn, and the Sun being in Capricorn is talking about, you know, career, right? And things you do uh, with meaning and purpose that can be that to other people. You know, this could be you helping others, or assisting others, or showing others how to do something, or how to, you know, um, bring more structure to some systems, right? Yeah. So let's go ahead and flip over the card that's at the very beginning, which is the Six of Ariel. So it does talk about money. It does talk about, you know, different roles that people play in order to help assist a process, right? What's your role? What's my role? And then the Six of Ariel is also talking about material things, right? Are these things that I am working with, or that I am are they excessive? Do I have resources that I can share? So some of you might even be thinking of how you can donate money, or how you can like pull together some meaningful sort of organism purpose. This is the Six of Ariel, which is the moon in Taurus, right? And Taurus has, and the moon likes to love and to give and to nurture. So this is saying that, you know, I might have something that other people might be able to benefit from. You know, they can make more use of this than I can, or, you know, why would I not share what I have that could be, you know, just some extra, right? And it's being of service to those in need in some kind of way, shape, or form. It is bringing about improvements. Some of you could even be just seeing financial improvements, yes, or you could be seeing some good returns on your investments, right? Okay, that type of thing. Some of you could even be getting some, you know, paperwork done in terms of like a home situation, or moving, or a process that is going to help provide, you know, bring more stability into your home or into your work life. You know what I mean? This could be you searching, looking for a new job and getting that job, or finding out that there's like, you know, possibilities to change what it is that you do. You might be wanting to change what it is that you do 9 to 5, you know, which is like not really what a lot of people are doing right now. So it's like, if you are in that position where you may have gotten like furloughed or something like that, or laid off or anything like that. I think furloughed means that you have to like, that you agree to come back or something like that. I don't know. I'm not really completely sure on that. But, you know, some of you are searching for more, maybe an extra job, you know, maybe a second job, or another way to make money, because the sixth house in Virgo, they really are interested in kind of like multiple jobs. You know, I have strong Virgo placements, and I've always had more than one job, you know, and that's not because I couldn't get a 9 to 5. It's just because that's what I had to kind of like adapt my lifestyle to, because I was an artist, or because I was, doing something that was artistic in some kind of way, shape, or form. Material needs get fulfilled in magical and unexpected ways, acts of kindness, giving or receiving with a grateful heart. Okay? So this is something that's going to be beneficial for everyone, even if it's just you giving your time, or your advice, or giving your manpower, right? Your woman power, your person power, right? People power, coming together to make a difference, right? Yeah. This is even volunteering in some ways. Let's look at the immediate influence. The immediate influence is the magician. So this is talking about the focus and the realization, using the frontal lobe, being very aware of what is in front of you, what lies before you, what can you do with what lies before you, and are you who are you in this? The magician is literally like, what role do you play? So you could just be questioning the magician. What can I do? Where do I begin? What is my purpose here? What point can I make? Where does my potential lie? You know, that type of thing. Well, you could do many. There's a multitude of things that you could do, right? Um, you could write something. You could write a review of something, or you could just kind of like give your take on the state of something, right? You could give your opinions, or you could just give information on organizations that people can donate to, right? You can just make people aware of some things that they haven't been aware of before. It's the sharing of information that empowers people. So that's something else that I'm just kind of like throwing out there to you. The magician is talking about concentration and being able to concentrate on what you're trying to manifest. Imagination, imagery, visualization. So it really does talk about being able to see the potential in something, right? Seeing the potential in yourself as well. So if you're questioning, what can I do? Maybe you do need to explore yourself, right? And what are your interests? Because the magician is very much trying to captivate or capture interest, right? So what captures your interest? What captivates you? What gets you kind of riled up or excited? That type of thing. Yeah. Um, the Empress, again, very mercurial energy in the past position here, or the recent past. The Empress is talking about creativity, and it's also talking about your awareness of your surroundings, your environment, okay? And how you can access different variables, right, out of your environment that can help assist you, in enhancing your experience and enhancing the experience for other people. So everything that you are looking for is actually there. You just have to you have to realize it first with the magician being here. You know what I mean? And then with the Empress being here, it's like, well, there's potential, and now you're seeing the endless possibilities within that potential, right? And what actually has been given to you that you don't have to do any work to get or to receive, right? That's kind of like that high priestess energy that you just kind of skipped. You went from the magician straight to the Empress. So it's almost kind of like the divine has already prompted you. And it's already giving you the feeling of wanting to show the compassion. Now it's kind of like, all right, let's put this into play. Because the Empress is very much, things are in play now. Hi. Okay? The Empress is also talking about being able to see the beauty within all things. Right? So being sincere, you know, being able to step into a situation or approach a situation with an objective, right? So we're talking about objectivity. What is your objective? We got to figure out what the objective is, okay? You know what I mean? What is the message going to be, right? How are we being clear? Are we being concise? Are we being conscious? Because 1, 2, 3, the first house, the second house, the third house, right? And then it also has a little bit of that 12th house energy too. But that's the ingenuity. That's the part that lives inside of you that is just there ready for you to attend to, right? Because the Empress is talking about giving attention to the things that are very quiet or very soft within your you know, in your person, in your integrity too, you know, having integrity, sharing things with integrity, right? And then and it also is kind of helping bring more stability to the mind, helping ease the mind. You know, that's something that you need as well. Maybe you need to pamper yourself in nature, right? You know, because it's like you can put on things that make you feel good, right, and that look good, but then there are things that innately are good, that you kind of have, like, that are in your DNA, and that you feel sort of like indigenously attached to in some kind of way, right? We're talking about, yeah, and that's what I mean when I'm saying, like, connect with nature, because, like, once you connect with nature, you're going to be divinely inspired, or that connection between the magician and the empress takes place with the high priestess, because there's magic that is going to occur. You just have to access these different avenues, these different channels of the self, so that you can actually have those light switches turned on. You can have that activation, because the empress is definitely talking about something being activated, right? And so is the magician. In the sun position, new beginnings, that's Pluto, okay, and this is talking about the judgment, okay? So the judgment and new beginnings is 20, all right? So it's talking about two sides of a situation, coming out on the other side of something. The realization that comes from an elevated consciousness, but then it's like more dense, right? A deeper understanding. Um, and you're sharing this deeper understanding with spirit, right? Because I was just talking about that high priestess energy being the two that connects the ace, which is the magician, and the three, which is the empress. Okay, and the new beginnings card here is a two. This is Pluto. It is the esoteric ruler of Pisces. So we are talking about, compassion that comes from allowing yourself to see that you know, you are not the things that you experience, right? Those things affect you, and you learn from those things, and they teach you things, and they make you conscious of things that you weren't able to see before, you know? So it's almost kind of like you've gone into a shadow, you've gone into, the depths, you've gone into a deeper understanding, you've gone down into the depths of the water. It's like Persephone going down into, Hades, right? And now you're coming out with a deeper understanding, um, and also coming out of one reality and going into a new one very much changed, you know? So you might be feeling very much changed right now, and that's what Pluto does. It makes you feel very changed. This card says starting a new life, finding your purpose, and forgiving and compassionate review of the past. So this is talking about, the power of letting go. The power of letting go of something that you once felt on a really deep way was a part of you, or was like attached to you. There was something that you can shake. It was almost probably like an original sin, like that type of thing. But Pluto is talking about power. And whatever is being illuminated for you at this time in your life is making you feel empowered. Okay? And you were reflecting on this new feeling of empowerment. But there was a point of weakness that had to be experienced before you could come out feeling stronger or feeling more empowered. And you're realizing that the unhealthy attachments that you may have had to something that, you know, maybe you resented or that you wanted to change. You know, you can't change what already has happened. You can't change what you've already experienced. You can only change how you look at it. And you can look at how it has changed you. Right? Instead of looking at how you want that thing to change that has already happened, look at how you have changed, right? The new beginnings card is a 20, it reduces to a 2. I have transformed. I have changed, right? And this is kind of like almost an undoing, an un unraveling, an unbinding, because it's a 2, and the 2s are very much binding. You were bound to an experience that might have been traumatic for you, might have had something to do with sex, right? Sexual preferences, you know, maybe a traumatic experience that may have happened to you that like changed you and how you looked at life or looked at yourself or just looked at the experience that you were having in life. You know, it was like, it just kind of like, you know, it was an oil spill on your life and you just kind of been flying around in this oil. But now it's kind of like you feel like clean, right? No fear, right? It's kind of like you guys don't fear death anymore either. Whatever that is, whatever that means for some of you all. Um, but you're definitely going to be experiencing some new beginnings, which is wonderful because the magician is talking about new beginnings. The empress is talking about new beginnings because of the connection and the deep understanding that something is being manifested, something's being created, something is in its gestation period, something is happening. For some of you, it could be pregnancy, you know what I mean? And for some of you, it's just kind of like the person, the creative person that you were, the artistic person that you were, how you were inspired by the sensational things that you were getting out of life. You know, it's like you just see things in technicolor now as if you didn't before in a new way, and you're appreciating that, right? And you want to nurture this new way that you have started to feel and see and experience. In your moon position, you have the Knight of Michael, which is actually opposing your energy, which is interesting because, you know, it's like the Gemini new moon energy. So 2 weeks ago, you know, you might have been very much speaking out on something, you know, being very opinionated or getting very involved on a social level, right? Because this is the Knight of Michael and this is Gemini, and this is where Venus is right now going retrograde, you know? And this is talking about someone coming in and maybe giving you some advice, or maybe someone coming in and talking to you in a very in a way that's you know, maybe somebody had to really like give you the business, right? Or maybe someone just kind of like had to tell you like it is, very matter of fact. You know what I mean? Detach the emotions from it. Because the Knight of Michael is encouraging you to detach the emotions that you have and be objective, right? Because objectivity is a show of strength, right? Because you're not falling victim to the emotions, right? And then it allows you to stay objective. It allows you to stay intellectual, right? And use diligence and efficiency, because your emotions sometimes take away the ability for you to be efficient, right? And even, well, no, efficient in the moment. The Knight of Michael is very much that energy that is moving like very fast paced and quick because it's fire and it's also air. But it's also a little bit of Taurus. So it's like you're coming from this fixed place that you've probably been, right? And it's almost like the new beginnings card being a 20 and reducing to a 2 being Pluto is kind of stuck in the emotions. And the Knight of Michael is really encouraging you, right? Um, to make the situation better by um, detaching from that experience, or allowing yourself to break free of the confines of that, the confusion of that, trying to constantly make sense of something that doesn't want to be made sense of. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do when you're like, yeah, that was it? What is that gonna do for you? Time to move quickly. Choose logic over emotion. Sudden changes. Okay. Okay, let's look at the runes card because I've gone through the first part of the reading. Now we're going. This is the first part of the reading. We're about to go into the middle. And usually I pull the runes card at the very beginning to give us like the overall energy, right? To just kind of like coincide with the main card and the immediate influence, right? One more time. Yeah, you got some new beginnings happening for sure. Some changes. The Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in Cancer, so maybe you're going to experience some changes there. That could even be like, what is that, your 8th house? Wow. Urus, and this is talking about, strength as well. But this is the bull, so this is kind of like that energy of not wanting to feel held back, breaking free of whatever it is that you felt like was trying to maybe bring you down or just be in control of you. You're getting away from something you feel like that was problematic anyway, that probably didn't have your best interest, right? Definitely. Let's look at what the meaning of this card is, and I'm going to read that to you as well. I kind of I like reading these when I'm doing these runes card because I've never actually had runes. I use the card. So this card is talking about power, right? The bull. Yes? And it's interesting because Taurus is the bull and it is the second house, and new beginnings, the number 20 card is reduced to a 2. Okay? So here we go. Power. The rune is linked to power, perseverance, and courage. An imposing and threatening bull releases itself from the game. Nothing can stop its power, not even those men who would tame it. So are our energy reserves that we may draw upon in times of need, right? In this moment, we are capable of undertaking a lot of work and are able to handle responsibilities that at other times might overwhelm us. The burdens and activities that require a great expenditure of physical energy do not scare us, and we experience them as a valuable outlet, dedicating our lives to them with generosity. And that's where that 6 of Pentacles came in with this 8, the Magician. So you're becoming aware of something, of what you can do, right, to help something. In this moment, we are capable of undertaking a lot of work and are able to handle responsibilities that might overwhelm us. The burdens and activities that require great expenditure of physical energy do not scare us, and we experience them as a valuable outlet, dedicating ourselves to them with generosity. I'm like repeating it. The card is linked to the male principle and virile strength, which should not become destructive anger. So it's kind of like the energy and the strength and the courage and the power that you have should not be used to express anger or displeasure. It should be directed in a powerful way, especially if you are coming out of the situation or you are leaving those which made you feel as though you were being, held back or discounted in some kind of way or not respected, because this definitely has to do with respect, you know, and meaning. Let's reflect on our aggression. Are we able to keep it under control as we would like? Does it become a constructive force or does it act destructively? How might we use it best? Uruz activates, regardless of gender, our virile side. It helps those who are undergoing a period of convalescence. So you are feeling emboldened, right? You're feeling like, I want to do something now. I feel like I have to do something now. This is the moment now, right? Because that bull is trying to escape. And the New Beginnings card does talk about escaping escaping your own fears, right? Escaping that facet of yourself, getting away from that facet of yourself, destroying that part of yourself that is actually sparking fear in you. It's like you're causing your own fear, right? Anyway, Four of Gabriel is in the anxieties, hopes, wishes position here. So some of you have anxieties that you will actually have a real relationship again. You know, like it's gonna be something real, something that we are committed to, something that everyone can see. And not necessarily everyone can see, but it's just kind of like you want to have that real thing again, and you have anxieties that it's not gonna actually happen. You know, because this is in the anxieties, but some of you are actually really hopeful for that. You actually celebrate the idea and the potential of having a new relationship, of having a new experience that is going to be, you know, new meaning in your life. You know, all of the relationships that you have give meaning to your life in a different way. Love you. And I feel like whatever it is that you may have gone through that made you feel like it wasn't worth it to kind of hope or to expect, not expect, but just kind of like imagine or even dream of having something. Don't count yourself out. That's all I'm saying, you know, because it's not about what you're dreaming or imagining in terms of like what you want in a partner. It's like don't count out the idea or the reality that there are people out there that understand you, that are willing to celebrate you, that are going to put the energy and the effort and the passion into nurturing parts of you that, you know, need to be nurtured in this way, shape, or form. You know, it's very much possible because, you know, sometimes you have to allow life to give you what it wants to give you at each stage that it wants to give you something, or change something for you, or introduce you into something else, because the Four of Gabriel is definitely talking about the you know, it introduces something, but it introduces something that was anticipated, right? Kind of like all this time. So it's like the dream and the hope. It's like I always dreamed of my wedding day, or I always dreamed of my relationship being like this, or I always dreamed of having the house with the white picket fence. You can, you know, that type of stuff. Like you can manifest the life that you want. You know, but you have to listen, and you have to be consciously aware of what's being put in front of you, right? And you have to be consciously, you have to allow things to also uh, leave your life. Just as much as you let what you allow things to come into your life, you have to allow things to leave your life. And you have the New Beginnings card here, which is the Pluto card, which is talking about allowing things to leave your life. Then you have Four of Gabriel here, which is Venus and Aries, right? Aries, for me, is also ruled by Pluto, right? And the fourth house, which is Cancer, is talking about home and family, but also, end of life, right? So some of you guys could be just kind of like, you don't want to find yourself alone at the end of your life, right? And that's why the anxieties position has the Four of Gabriels here. But this is a very prosperous card. It's actually saying, stop that. You can see the potential in your life because you're here. It's kind of like, don't give up. The Four of Gabriels is like, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't count yourself out. Definitely. Because Aries isn't going to count itself out. Venus and Aries, it's kind of like, there are some very beautiful things about me that somebody will appreciate, that I should appreciate. Okay? You should also appreciate the work that you put into the things that are meaningful to you, because you know that's reciprocal energy right there. you know you shouldn't put all of your eggs into that basket of this person validating you, or this job validating you. Sometimes people hold on to careers or jobs because they feel like it's validating them. It's giving them a sense of status or something like that. Or we hold on to something because we feel like, because we are attached to it, or because it is attached to us, then it gives us this, like, people see us at this level of potential that they wouldn't if we weren't attached to that thing. And that doesn't necessarily have to be true, because you are who you are without that thing, with or without it, right? You had to be there for the thing to actually be attached to you. Okay, so let's look at the Mars position here. Wow. In the Mars position, you have the Ten of Raphael, which is the Ten of Cups, and that is Mars in Pisces, which is where Mars is right now. This is the energy of abundance, abundance in love, abundance, even in, blessings, right? So Mars in Pisces, this is kind of like bestowing blessings of love and compassion and understanding, right? But also this is kind of like bestowing blessings of healing, right? And the healing process, you probably are at the end of a healing process. You're starting to actually feel a little bit better about an experience, right? The Ten of Raphael is also talking about, you can have that satisfaction in your career. You can have the job that you love. You can have the career that you love. You can live the professional life that you love, right? Your family life, your love life, your work life, it all can be encompassing in this bigger picture of satisfaction. Yeah, there are going to be some challenges, and there are going to be some, extreme levels of things, but you can kind of like have it all. But having it all means with dealing with good and bad stuff, right? That's having it all. Having it all isn't just having everything be good all the time, right? The Ten of Raphael. Love and blessings fill your life. Harmonious relationships with family members. Happily ever after. So some of you guys could be healing some relationships with family members that might have started out aggressive, but now, you guys have softened up, right? This is also talking about the opportunity to kind of grow from, it's the opportunities that come from growth, inner growth, outer growth, and it's like time has passed too, and time heals, right? So now you're probably ready to act, because you've had this time to rest, or you've had this time to, just fully come around full circle from something or with something. right? And Mars and Pisces is almost like the initiation or the assertion or the proclamation of the feeling, right? Mm-hmm. And it's very like systematic. Like we see the direction where this is going. However, this is resonating for you. This is in love, right? Some of you could be seeing the direction that something is going with someone who might be drinking a lot, or they could be escaping a lot, you know. Or some of you could be so ready to like take a trip or go somewhere else, or be able to move freely and go somewhere where you love, or go visit someone that you love, right? And you can have the career that you love, definitely, for sure. The lifestyle that you love. Because it's not just about the career that you love. If the career that you love isn't supporting any of the other aspects of your life, or if there's an imbalance to what that career is actually able to support in the rest of your life, then is it worth it? You know? So also with the Ten of Raphael, you have to, it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice so that you can be living the life that you want to be living, or be experiencing the things that you want to experience, right? What are you also willing to change about yourself that actually could be hidden potential, right? In order for you to experience the blessings in life that you want. Let me look at your Venus position. The Chariot. Wow. You know, this is a very powerful position to have this card in, because it's a 7 and Venus rules the 7th house. Okay. Oh, so the Chariot. The Chariot is talking about not feeling like you aren't able to move. You know what I mean? If you were undecided on something, or if you were weighing something out for a long time, or you felt kind of stagnant within your spirit, like you weren't ready to make a move, or you didn't feel confident enough to move forward, or you didn't feel like your confidence was growing. I feel like your confidence is growing right now, in some ways that were hidden from other people. You know, there were some things that you might have been like weighing out in your mind, going over different options, you know, trying to gain more perspective, but you didn't want people to see that you were like struggling with something, or debating in your head with something, or you know, yeah. It's almost kind of like something had its you were dealing with something all the time that was kind of like not making you feel ready, or not making you feel motivated. It was like draining you of your motivation. But that's not happening anymore. There might have been a relationship too that might have been holding you back, and now you don't feel like the thought of that relationship, or the weighing out of that relationship, or you know how the imprint or the impression that thing, that job, that relationship, that person, that experience, you know, the impression that it left on you is not preventing you from moving past it, right? And I feel like you learned a little bit more too. You have a little bit more knowledge, you know, that you can kind of like cope with what it is that you didn't understand about the situation at first, you know, and that knowledge that you have that helps you understand more about it had to come with time, and with experience, and with you processing your emotions, and with you asking yourself the right questions, you know, you probably relating to the people in a different way, or trying, you know, just all of that. Let's look at what the Romance Angels Oracle card is going to say for you in terms of love or relationship, to just kind of like you know, it's going to like it almost is like a hyphenation of the Venus position, you know. Let's see. Some of you need to give a relationship a chance. And it's not the relationship that you know, you have a codependency with. If you Some of you have a codependent relationship with somebody that you clearly need to not be around, that because they're unhealthy for you, then that's not the relationship that you need to be weighing out, right? You already know, you're moving past it. But some of you are weighing out on whether or not to go ahead and move forward with a relationship, you know? This says determination and self control, career advancement, acknowledgement of success by others, right? So this could be like, the validation from other people that gives you the encouragement to go ahead and move forward with something, right? It could be the encouragement that you get from your mother, right? Definitely. So, yeah, like I said, some addictions are affecting your romantic life with someone. And the addiction could be like the addiction that you might have to the person, right? The codependency you might have or they might have with you, or just kind of like, maybe somebody is having some codependencies. I don't know which card to pull, but I'm gonna. Okay, so here we go. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So some of you do need to express your feelings to someone, and that's why the Chariot is here saying that you're making that decision to go ahead and do that. Okay? And it could be a Libra, or it could be a Cancer person, right? Or it could also even be a Capricorn. Yeah. So let me go ahead and flip over your next three future cards. And then I'm going to pick these last two from the Archangel Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue and the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. The Chariot also could be talking about, feeling like you're moving forward with a job. Maybe some of you are able to go back to your job. The 7 does talk about the days of the week, so your daily life could be moving forward, right? You could be seeing your life sort of resemble what it used to a little bit closer. That 7-day week for you, right? Some of you need to take a week vacation, right? If you have been working or if you have been doing a lot. Or some of you need to just kind of like take a little bit of a break from whatever it is that you've been indulging in a lot, like social media, whatever that is. Maybe you just need to have a little bit less of it. Let's go ahead. Wow. Yes. You got a lot of major arcanas. The star card is talking about the awareness of what moving forward means. And this is amazing because you do have the magician here, which is a 1. And you do have the Chariot here, which is a 7. And then you have the star card, which is 1 and 7, major arcana. And the star card is talking about rest. It's talking about meditation, recovery time, giving yourself the mental break that you need, because the star card is very much contemplative energy, thinking a lot, you know. It also is talking about the strength of the mind. You need to take that time off so that you can re-strengthen your mind. You know, you have to be aware of how your relationships affect you. And you need to be able to pull away from certain relationships and give yourself the recovery time, or the time to restructure your mind, or just kind of like relax your mind and do those things that are unique to you, right? Because the opinions of other people and the suggestions from other people, and just like all of the other things that you absorb from outside, from the internet, all of those things. Sometimes you just have to remember who you are, and you have to pull away, and you have to go into that space that no one else is going to infiltrate. Right? Very important. Because then that's going to help you regain your confidence, because it's like you are aware of what it's going to take for you to continue, for you to stay interested. Right? This is also a wish card. A dream come true. Believe in yourself. The end of a difficult situation, right? So something has been restored. You know, in a sense, the star card talks about peace being restored in some kind of way. Um, but peace in the mind, the strength and the will of the mind are always tested. And, you know, sometimes we have experiences that we're kind of like moving through that are actually transforming us. And we need to take a break. And it's kind of like when you're looking at the internet or you're looking at the news and you're seeing the racism and you're seeing the protests and you're seeing the fighting and you're seeing people be pushed down and you're seeing people getting shot, tasered, all of this stuff. That's a lot. And I know you want to know what's going on. And I know you may want to get involved, but sometimes you got to pull yourself away from it because it's going to continue happening whether or not you're there to see it or not. Okay? So the star cards, you know, it don't drive yourself crazy because you're going to misalign yourself with your greater purpose, right? Because we got to stay within our purpose, even with all the crazy shit that's going on, right? There's not. It's not a coincidence that the star card and the Empress are both very vulnerable cards, right? Because the star card is Aquarius, and it talks about the intellect, right? Being able to understand principles and modalities. And the Empress is a 3, which is definitely connected to the mercurial energy, and Mercury is exalted in Aquarius. We got a 7 here. Okay? We got Mercury here. All right, let's go ahead and flip over your future. Wow. So the outcome energy moving forward is the star. Wishes fulfilled, dreams come true. As long as you are able to stay in your right mind, your dreams can come true. You know, because people can get in the way of you achieving your dreams if you let them. But the star card is a 1 and a 7, which is reduces to an 8. Oh. Dana. Thank you. So the star card. Here we go. We got an 8 right here. Sag, this is your energy. The 8s are talking about power and transient, transformative, transportation. Some of you could be dealing with, transportation issues, right? You might be waiting to get a car or something like that. This 8 of Gabriel is also talking about, not holding back on your ideas, right? What are you also learning? Because it's Mercury and it's Sag. So what are you learning that's going to help you move forward? What is this information that's making you feel encouraged, motivated, uplifted, re-emboldened, passionate again, impassionate again? You know? The 8s are definitely talking about the strength, the impact with the 8 of Gabriel, the impact of your actions, your thoughts, your words, your communication. Your thoughts and your actions have an impact, right? And when you use and when you do things impactfully with impact, you get results. And the 8s definitely would like to see results. There's there's going to be some highs and lows. There's going to be some hits and some misses. right? Some ups and some downs, but there's definitely things that can be gained out of this. Resources, extra resources, or very beneficial resources, right? But communication is important, so you're going to have to act on this communication. Yes? Let's see what one of these cards says. We're going to be using the Archangel Oracle cards here. Life Path 8. Niece is moving. Still in high school. After an attempt. Oh, my goodness. That's probably why this New Beginnings, this Pluto card is here. Yes. And the Ten of Raphael. Because the Ten of Raphael talks about that's Mars. And Mars is the aggressor. Mars is destructive. And Mars wants to burn things and, you know, change things. And it's angry and aggressive sometimes. And it's inspired by that anger and by that aggression. And the Ten of Cups, Ten of Raphael, does talk about a willingness to sacrifice or let go of something. You know, so there might need to be a move that takes place in order to save this individual, Mars, from feeling so vulnerable to their experience that they want to end their experience, right? So there's some, oh, a card fell out. Did you see that? Oh! And it was the card that was at the bottom of the deck when I picked it up to start shuffling it, and it fell out again. And I just talked about Pisces and all of that. Compassion. Archangel Zadkiel. Soften your heart with respect to this situation. Understand what is needed. Understand what it needs, right? And all of the people involved, including yourself. Because you're all very sensitive to it. And that's what I'm talking about with the Star card being here. Because the Star card is essentially showing compassion to yourself. Mars and Gemini, my mother has that position. Right? Mars and Gemini is mischievous. Right? Doing a lot of stuff. Get down from there. You're climbing things. Did you fall a lot? Did you have a lot of accidents when you were a kid? Did you knock things over? Were you always doing something that was like very much inspired? Prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. Archangel Metatron. Right? Zadkiel and Metatron. Let's look at what your top card is, right? Yes, this is that ascension energy where we're going into. Ooh, fingers crossed. Nine of Gabriel, Moon in Sagittarius. I spoke of the Moon in Sagittarius at the very beginning because you are Sag, and this is where we had your Moon. If you're Sag rising, it's in your first house. Sorry, maybe it's in your ninth house for some of you. You know, and if it's in your ninth house, then that would mean that you are what, a Taurus rising, perhaps. So the Nine of Gabriel is very much, actually, I'm sorry, I'm wrong about that with the Taurus thing. Maybe it's your, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I have to count the houses. Nine of Gabriel talks about maybe even making the best out of a situation that you feel like you might be attached to. It could be like wanting to make the best of a bad situation, right? The Nine of Gabriel is also talking about sort of like mentor, actively helping, actively being of service, actively trying to treat, and it's almost kind of like a sense of treat with like belief system and spirituality and religion and faith, right? Because the Nine of Gabriel is asking you to have faith because it's the Moon in Sagittarius, and the Moon definitely needs to keep its faith. Sagittarius is saying, Please believe, please believe, please believe. And the moon is like, the moon might be like, I can't, but Sagittarius is saying, you can, you can. You can believe, and you will believe, you know? Because it's the visualization, it's keeping your eye on the goal, right? It's staying in alignment with the intended goal that is going to help you reach the goal. I don't care if you have to go like this, because you're not going to hit the goal like that head on. You might have to, like, do some meandering. Stay determined and move forward. Be prepared for any possibility, right? Environmental activism. How are you behaving, or how are they behaving, or how are we behaving in this environment? How will this environment encourage this behavior, right? Because look at the car. It's kind of like when you plant certain things in horticulture and agriculture and all of that, it's like there are certain plants, vegetables, produce that won't necessarily thrive in an environment that doesn't suit it well, doesn't suit its best interests. So you have to think about the environment and how that is going to, how someone can actively participate in their environment, and how the environment is going to be very congruent, cohesive to the needs of that person, place, thing, pet, so that they can get the best results and they can stay encouraged and they can be nurtured at the same time. Very sensitive growth. I am sitting out by the garden under the moonlight, doll, are so on point. Love you guys and girls and people and persons. But yeah, definitely stay determined. Don't give up. Spirit is motivating you. This energy of the full moon in Sag and is very much connected to cosmic energy. The galactic center is in Sagittarius. That's basically the center of the universe. So this is saying, like, Gabriel Bernstein, the universe has your back. This is kind of like saying the universe has your back, because when you stay motivated and you've got when you stay motivated and determined towards a purpose that is actually good, for the greater good, for your best interest, the universe is like, yes, this is what you need, and this is what we want to see you seeing that, understanding that, realizing, forming these foundations through your realization of, like, how we are here to support and help you, right? Walking with you, having you get those opportunities, those chance meetings, all of those things. Mercury, open communication. Get a weight off your chest. Speak up with love and be heard. All right, let's go ahead and shuffle these so that we can see what we need to do. As this last card is coming in. But also, the moon in Sagittarius is talking about environmental activism, right? Which is what we're seeing a lot of now with the Black Lives Matter movement, the Trans Lives Matter movement, Black Gay Lives Matter, all of that. Another one fell out. Here we go. Lady Portia, which doesn't come out a lot for me. Or you, or who are we for? This card says divine order. Do what you feel is right. An important lesson is unfolding. Oh yes, Galactic Center. I have a planet. I have something there too, but I like to kind of keep it on as all. Yes, let me show you this. Lady Portia, beautiful, right? So, Sagittarius. Remember, a situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow you. Put the past behind you. Nurture yourself and those you love. The ability to make anything more beautiful. Practical and wise advice. So, that Capricorn energy is very much like, let me help you because I have the experience and I can definitely give you some useful feedback. And you can apply these principles and these ways of doing things and definitely expect to get some results because it is proven. Thank you so much, Sagittarius. If you would like to donate to the channel, the donate button is there. Click on that and donate whatever you feel. Um, Also, like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram as well. I am Providence Tarot there. I am also NYC Kendrick there. That's my personal account. I have a food account. It's called The Tongue Pop, just as it sounds. Happy Gemini season. Happy full moon since we're still in that energy. Be blessed. Remember, you've got to meditate. Give yourself that quiet time. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be the way that you see everyone else meditating. It could be reading, drawing, writing, coloring. I have adult coloring books, cooking, anything. I love cooking as a meditative form. I don't do it as much now, but, I do. I love doing that. Sagittarius, I love you. Both my parents have Sag energy. See you later.